Index funds, mutual funds, hedge funds, or ETFs. I'm sure you've heard these terms thrown around before, and it can all sound a bit confusing, right? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down these types of investments in a super simple and practical way. And hey, if you're new here, this is another great reason to hit that subscribe button because we're all about making finance easy to understand. We'll start with what a fund actually is. Then we'll dive into the different kinds, how they're managed, the risks involved, the fees you might pay, the strategies they use, and most importantly, who each one is really meant for. So, let's start at the beginning. What exactly is a fund? Think of it as a big piggy bank where lots of people, the investors, pool their money together. This collected money is then handed over to a professional called a fund manager. This manager's job is to take that big pot of money and invest it on everyone's behalf into different things, like stocks, bonds, or other assets. Hedge funds, mutual funds, and ETFs are all popular examples of these pooled investment vehicles, but the way they're managed is completely different. Let's see how. Now that you've got a clear idea of what a fund is, let's jump into the different types, starting with the one you've probably heard about most on social media. Index funds. You've likely heard influencers or finance creators say things like, just throw your money into an index fund and forget about it. But what does that actually mean? All right, an index fund is a type of fund that doesn't try to pick winning stocks. Instead, it simply copies a list, or an index, of companies. But what exactly is an index? Think of it like a scoreboard or a sample group. It's a list created to represent a certain part of the market. For example, the S&P 500 is an index that tracks 500 of the biggest, most established companies in the United States. The bigger the company, the more weight it has in the index. So if the S&P 500 goes up, it usually means the U.S. stock market as a whole is doing well. And there are all kinds of indexes out there. Some track specific sectors like the famous NASDAQ, which is full of tech giants like Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. This index has seen incredible growth over the past decade thanks to the tech boom. Then there are industrial-focused indexes like the Dow Jones Industrial Average or just the Dow. This one tracks 30 large, well-established companies across different industries. Think Coca-Cola, Boeing, and Johnson & Johnson. There are also indexes for small companies, international markets, emerging economies, and even specific sectors like energy or healthcare. You get the idea. The key thing about index funds is that there's no active picking or guessing. They are passively managed, which means no one is actively choosing what to buy or sell. The fund just automatically follows the index. And that's actually a great thing because it keeps the fees super low. You're not paying for a fancy manager, just a simple system. Most index funds charge a small annual fee called an expense ratio, which can be anywhere from 0.02% to 0.20%. To put that in perspective, if you invest $1,000, you might pay just 20 cents to $2 per year in fees. Incredible, right? Some of the most well-known companies that manage these funds are Vanguard, BlackRock, which runs the iShares funds, and Fidelity. Index funds are also known for being relatively low risk, because your money is spread across hundreds of companies. If one company has a bad year, it probably won't sink your whole investment, though this depends on the specific fund, of course. Before we move on, there's something really important to understand about how index funds work, especially when it comes to buying and selling them. Unlike stocks or ETFs, you can't buy an index fund at any time of the day and lock in the current price. Instead, index funds are priced only once per day after the market closes. That price is called the net asset value, or NAV. It's calculated by taking the total value of all the assets in the fund, subtracting any expenses, and dividing that by the number of shares the fund has. So, if you place an order to buy or sell an index fund at 11 a.m., your trade won't happen at that moment. It will be processed at the net asset value calculated after the market closes, typically around 4 p.m. This is known as the cutoff time. If you place your order before the cutoff, your trade will be executed that day. But be aware, some fund companies might take a few days to fully process your order. This system makes index funds simple and consistent, but it also means you don't have real-time control over the exact price you'll get. For most long-term investors, that's totally fine, but it's something to be aware of so you're not surprised when your trade doesn't go through right away. So, why are index funds so popular? It's simple. They're low-cost, low-effort, and historically, they perform pretty well over the long term. That's why a lot of experts, even legendary investor Warren Buffett, recommend them for most people. Why? Because it's extremely difficult to consistently outperform the market year after year. All right, now let's talk about mutual funds. At first glance, they might seem similar to index funds. They both pool money from many investors and spread it across a bunch of different assets. But the big difference is in how they're managed. Mutual funds are usually actively managed. This means there's a professional fund manager, or even a whole team of them, actively deciding which stocks or bonds to buy and sell. Their goal is to beat the market, meaning they try to outperform a benchmark index like the S&P 500 by picking the right investments at the right time. Now, that might sound great in theory, but here's the catch. Active management usually comes with much higher fees. Mutual fund expense ratios often range from 0.5% to 1.5%, and sometimes even higher. And here's the tough truth. Studies have shown that most actively managed funds do not consistently beat the market over the long run. Still, some people prefer mutual funds. They might believe in a particular fund manager's strategy, or they might want to invest in specific sectors, countries, or types of assets that aren't easily accessible through a simple index fund. It's also a way to achieve diversification with a specific focus. Some of the biggest mutual fund providers are the same names you heard before, like Vanguard, Fidelity, and JP Morgan. They offer a huge range of funds, some of which are actively managed and others that are passively managed, just like index funds. So it's really important to check the details and see what kind of fund you're actually investing in. And just like with traditional index funds, mutual funds also execute trades only once a day, at the end of the day. You can place your buy or sell order at any time, but it will only be processed after the market closes at that day's net asset value. So, again, no real-time trading here. We've covered a lot, but there's still more to explore with ETFs and hedge funds. All right, let's dive into the world of hedge funds. These are a totally different beast compared to index funds, mutual funds, or ETFs. The name hedge might suggest they're all about reducing risk, but ironically, they're often about chasing much higher returns using aggressive and pretty complex strategies. So what exactly is a hedge fund? Think of it as an exclusive investment club. It's a private fund that pools money from wealthy individuals and institutions, known as accredited investors. To get in, you typically need a net worth of at least $1 million, and the minimum investment can be anywhere from $100,000 to over $1 million. They invest this money across a huge range of assets: stocks, bonds, real estate, currencies, you name it. Unlike the funds we've discussed before, hedge funds use some serious firepower. They use strategies like short selling, which is betting that a stock's price will go down, and leverage, which means borrowing money to invest even more. They also get into complex derivatives. The fund managers have a lot of freedom to make bold moves, which can lead to massive profits, but also spectacular losses. This high-risk, high-reward nature is exactly why they're restricted to investors who can afford to take a potential hit. And let's talk about the fees. Hedge funds are famous for the 2 and 20 rule. That's a 2% annual management fee on all assets, plus a 20% cut of any profits the fund generates. While these averages have come down a bit in recent years, they're still way higher than what you'd pay for an index or mutual fund. To justify those fees, they have to aim for extraordinary returns, but that often comes with a very bumpy ride. Because they're private, hedge funds have a lot of flexibility. They aren't required to publish a public prospectus like a mutual fund. Instead, they use private documents that outline their strategies, risks, and terms. This can also mean your money might be locked up for a certain period, and they can even halt withdrawals during crazy market times to protect the fund. It's crucial for anyone investing in a hedge fund to fully understand all these terms before jumping in. Now, let's shift gears to something much more accessible: ETFs, or exchange-traded funds. You can think of these as a hybrid between an index fund and a stock. Like a stock, you can buy and sell them all day long on the stock exchange, watching their price change in real time. But like an index fund, they hold a basket of different assets, giving you instant diversification. This flexibility is a huge plus. You can react to market movements throughout the day. ETFs are also known for their low fees, with expense ratios often ranging from as little as 0.03% to 0.75%. Most are passively managed, meaning they're designed to simply track the performance of a specific index, like the S&P 500. So, if you want to invest in the top 500 U.S. companies, you can do it easily with an S&P 500 ETF. Plus, many brokerage platforms let you buy and sell popular ETFs with zero commission, making them incredibly easy for anyone to get started with. So, let's wrap it all up. For most of us, index funds or ETFs are fantastic choices. They're low cost, simple to understand, and offer great diversification, making them perfect for building wealth over the long term. Actively managed mutual funds might be a fit if you really believe in a specific manager's skill, but be mindful of the higher fees and the fact that most don't consistently beat the market. And hedge funds? They are a specialized tool for wealthy, sophisticated investors who understand and are willing to take on significant risk for the chance at higher returns. I hope that clears up the differences between these investment options. If this was helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Thanks for watching.